The boy started living alone because of school. To save money, he found a room that only cost about $250 a month. The reason it was so cheap was because people said it was haunted, but Jack didn't care at all. He just went straight to sleep. Right at that moment, the room started to shake slightly. The ceiling light began to flicker, but Jack wasn't affected at all because he was sleeping way too deeply. The next day after school, he heard voices inside the room. Someone was plotting how to scare him. When he walked in, he saw a girl. He was completely confused, but the girl was the one who got scared. She didn't expect Jack could actually see her. Jack thought she was just some random kid. He picked her up and threw her out of the room, but the girl phased right back through the door. Jack froze on the spot. Turns out her name was Jenny. She was the ghost living in this room. Her goal was to scare away every tenant, but there was no way Jack would agree. The rent was way too cheap. Facing her supernatural attacks, Jack could only keep dodging. While avoiding her attacks, he found two charms in the room and used them to cancel out her powers. Just as the fight was about to start, a girl riding a broom crashed through the window. She claimed to be a magical girl named Mary. She sensed a huge amount of magic in this room and said an evil witch would soon come to take it, so she tried to convince Jack to move out. But because of her ridiculous outfit and story, Jack thought she was just a cringe cosplayer and threw her out too. Mary instantly burst into tears. Hearing that, Jack decided to call a temporary truce, but they had barely sat down when the floor suddenly flipped open. A girl named Julie came up from underground. She said she was one of the Earth folk. To rebuild a ritual altar that once stood here, she offered Jack 6 gold bricks to move out. Jack saw how sincere she was and almost agreed, but then Mary suddenly exposed the truth. The real purpose of rebuilding the altar was to turn this place into a base to invade the surface world. Jack immediately took back his answer. Seeing him change his mind, Julie activated her backup plan. Using a very aggressive distraction move, Jack almost fell for it. But suddenly, a magic circle appeared on the wall. Jack rushed forward to stop it, but he was too late. The one who arrived was Luna, the 7th princess of a galactic empire. Seeing Jack taking advantage of her, she immediately ordered her weapon, the Clear Knight, to attack. She was about to turn the place into rubble. Luckily, her guards arrived just in time. They reminded her that starting a war was not part of the mission. Only then did Luna cancel the attack. Right then, the landlord suddenly walked in. Seeing the house almost destroyed, she quickly figured out what happened. She made everyone sign a non-violence contract. As long as they didn't use force, they could fight however they wanted. But if anyone broke the rule, she would make sure they rest here forever. Everyone signed the contract. Since fighting was no longer allowed, they argued endlessly. Jack then suggested a solution. They would use card games to decide territory. First, they split the room into 6 zones. Each person would take one. The remaining space would be neutral ground. Then they would play cards, and the winner would gain more space. Whoever lost everything would be kicked out of the room. Mary was full of confidence, but since she had no real experience, after a few rounds of testing from Jack, she lost the match instantly. Day 1 ended with the magical girl getting completely crushed.